In our fast-paced, modern world, we are conditioned to listen to the noise of the external. We heed the alerts on our phones, the deadlines from our employers, the opinions of our peers, and the constant stream of information from the media. We have become experts at navigating the tangible, the measurable, and the logical. Yet, in doing so, we have often deafened ourselves to a more subtle, ancient, and profoundly wise form of communication, the whispers of our own spirit, and the nudges from the spiritual realm that surrounds us. This inner voice, this deep intuition, often speaks a language not of words, but of feelings, symbols, and somatic experiences. The concept of receiving guidance or warnings from a spiritual source is a timeless and cross-cultural one. Ancient traditions, spiritual philosophies, and religious texts are replete with stories of prophets, shamans, and everyday people being guided by dreams, visions, and inner knowings. While our contemporary society may often dismiss these experiences as mere coincidence, stress, or psychological quirks, there is a growing recognition that these subtle signals can be powerful indicators, pointing toward misalignments in our lives, hidden dangers, or necessary course corrections. These are not meant to be terrifying omens, but rather loving invitations to pause, reflect, and reconnect with our deeper truth. This essay is an in-depth exploration of 7 of these common spiritual warning signs. We will journey beyond superficial interpretations to understand the potential meaning behind these phenomena. We will delve into why you might suddenly feel anxiety in a place you've always considered safe, or why certain numbers or symbols keep appearing with uncanny frequency. We will explore the spiritual dimensions of unexplained fatigue, the messages hidden within our disruptive dreams, and the wisdom of a sudden, visceral resistance to a person or situation. We will also examine the subtle, yet significant shifts in our intuition and the persistent, looping thoughts about past mistakes that may be more than just regret. This is a guide for the sensitive soul, for the person who has felt these things and wondered, am I imagining this? It is an invitation to validate your own experiences and to learn the language of your spirit. By understanding these signs, we can move from a state of confusion and anxiety to one of empowerment and clarity. We can learn to see these warnings not as threats, but as a profound form of spiritual guidance, a compass pointing us back to a path of authenticity, safety, and purpose. Sign 1: Anxiety in familiar places. One of the most unsettling and powerful spiritual warning signs is the sudden onset of anxiety, unease, or even dread in a place that has always been familiar and safe. This could be your home, your workplace, a friend's house, or even your favorite coffee shop. A space that once brought you comfort and a sense of belonging suddenly feels foreign, oppressive, or charged with a negative energy you cannot logically explain. This is not the generalized anxiety that hums in the background of a stressful life. It is a distinct, location-specific feeling that arises when you enter a particular environment and often dissipates shortly after you leave. Our rational mind will immediately try to dismiss this experience. We might blame it on a bad night's sleep, work stress, or something we ate. But when the feeling is persistent and consistently tied to that one location, it is a signal that deserves our attention. Your spirit, being far more sensitive to subtle energies and spiritual realities than your conscious mind is picking up on something that your physical senses cannot. It is sounding an alarm, waving a red flag that says, "Pay attention." Something here is not in alignment with your well-being. There are several potential spiritual sources for this phenomenon. 1. A shift in the environment's energy. Places like people have an energetic signature. This energy can be influenced by the events that have occurred there and the emotions of the people who inhabit the space. You may be feeling a negative, energetic imprint left behind by a recent argument, an act of betrayal, or a period of intense grief or despair that occurred in that location, even if you were not present for it. For example, your workplace might suddenly feel oppressive because a coworker is harboring intense resentment towards you, or because unethical business practices are taking place behind the scenes. Your spirit is reacting to the toxicity in the atmosphere that has displaced the previously peaceful energy. 2. A warning about a person in that place. Often, the anxiety is not about the physical location itself, but about a person or group of people associated with it. Your spirit may be warning you about someone's hidden intentions, their inauthenticity, or the draining effect they have on your own spiritual energy. You may feel a sense of dread going home, not because of the house, but because the emotional or spiritual state of a family member has become toxic or unsafe for you. You might feel anxious at a social gathering because your spirit is detecting a false, duplicitous energy from someone who is pretending to be a friend, but is secretly jealous or harbors ill will. The place becomes the trigger for the anxiety, because it is the stage on which this unhealthy relational dynamic plays out. 3. A sign that you have outgrown the environment. Sometimes, the anxiety is not a warning of external danger, but an internal signal of growth. The familiar place feels uncomfortable because you have changed. Your spiritual frequency, your values, and your path have evolved, and this environment no longer resonates with who you are becoming. The job that was once a perfect fit now feels stifling and misaligned with your soul's purpose. The friendship group that once felt like home now feels superficial, draining, because your own spiritual depth has increased. The anxiety is the friction between your expanding self and a container that has become too small. It is a loving nudge from your spirit, telling you that it is time to seek out new environments and relationships that are in alignment with your next chapter. What to do when you experience this sign? Do not dismiss it. The first and most important step is to honor the feeling. Acknowledge the anxiety without judgment. Say to yourself, "My spirit is trying to tell me something, and I am willing to listen." Become a mindful observer. When you enter the space and the feeling arises, pause and observe. What specific thoughts or emotions come up? Does the feeling get stronger when a particular person enters the room? Where do you feel the anxiety in your body? This is not about analysis, but about gathering data from your inner world. Practice grounding and shielding. Before entering the location, take a few moments to ground yourself. Visualize roots growing from your feet deep into the earth. You can also practice energetic shielding by imagining a bubble of protective white or golden light surrounding you, creating a buffer between your energy field and the environment. journal about your experiences, writing down when and where the anxiety occurs, who was present, and what was happening can help you identify patterns that your conscious mind might have missed. Ask your spirit for clarity. In a quiet moment of meditation or prayer, you can simply ask your inner self, what is this feeling trying to tell me? What do I need to know about this place/person/situation for my highest good? Then, be open to receiving answers in the form of thoughts, feelings, or insights over the next few hours or days. This sign is a profound invitation to trust your spiritual sensitivity. It reminds us that safety is not just a physical matter, but an energetic and spiritual one as well. When a familiar place no longer feels like home, your spirit is calling you to investigate why, and to have the courage to make the changes necessary to restore your sense of peace and alignment. Sign 2. Repeating numbers or symbols. One of the most common and intriguing ways the spiritual realm attempts to get our attention is through the repetition of numbers, symbols, or even songs and words. You might find yourself glancing at the clock at exactly 11:11 every day. Perhaps you start seeing the number 444 everywhere, on license plates, receipts, and street addresses. Or maybe a specific animal, like an owl or a butterfly, starts appearing in unusual ways, in pictures, conversations, and in real life, with a frequency that defies coincidence. The rational mind is quick to label this phenomenon as confirmation bias, or the frequency illusion. The idea that once you notice something, your brain is simply primed to see it more often. And while this psychological principle is certainly real, it does not fully account for the profound sense of timing, meaning, and uncanny synchronicity that often accompanies these experiences. For those who are spiritually sensitive, these repetitions feel less like a mental quirk and more like a deliberate message, a cosmic ping from a source beyond the physical. These repeating signs are a form of spiritual language, a way for your spirit guides, angels, or your own higher self to bypass the noise of your conscious mind and communicate directly with your subconscious. Since the spiritual realm cannot simply send you a text message, it uses the fabric of your reality to embed signals that you are likely to notice. The repetition is designed to be a pattern interrupt, to make you pause your normal routine and ask, what does this mean? The meaning of these signs is often deeply personal, but there are some general frameworks we can use to understand them. 1. Repeating numbers, angel numbers. The study of numbers as carriers of spiritual meaning is an ancient practice. In modern spirituality, repeating number sequences are often referred to as angel numbers. While interpretations can vary, here are some widely accepted themes. 111 or 1111, often seen as a sign of a spiritual awakening or a gateway to a new level of consciousness. It's a call to be mindful of your thoughts as they are manifesting into reality with great speed. It's an affirmation that you are on the right path. 222, a message of balance, faith, and harmony. It encourages you to trust that everything is working out as it should, and to keep the faith, even if you cannot see the evidence yet. It can also signify the need to foster balance in your relationships and daily life. 333, associated with the presence of ascended masters like Jesus, Buddha, or other spiritual teachers. It's a sign that you are being supported, loved, and guided. It can also be a prompt to use your natural creative talents and communication skills to uplift others. 444, a sign of protection and encouragement from the angelic realm. It is a message that you are surrounded by loving and supportive angels, and you have nothing to fear. It also speaks to the importance of a solid foundation, hard work, and stability. 555. This number almost always signifies that a major life change is imminent. It's a message to prepare for a significant transition. While change can be uncomfortable, this number is an assurance that this change is for your highest good and will lead to a positive outcome. 2. Repeating symbols or animal totems. When a specific animal or symbol keeps appearing, it is often carrying a message through its archetypal energy. A butterfly, the universal symbol of transformation, rebirth, and metamorphosis. Seeing butterflies frequently can be a sign that you are in the midst of a significant personal transformation, and you should embrace the process of change. An owl, associated with wisdom, intuition, and the ability to see beyond deception and illusion. The subtle appearance of owls may be a call to trust your inner knowing and to look deeper into a situation before making a decision. A hawk or eagle. These birds of prey signify a higher perspective. Seeing them is often a message to step back from the details of a problem and see the bigger picture. They represent vision, clarity, and spiritual connection. A spider. While some fear them, spiders are symbols of creativity, patience, and the weaving of destiny. Their appearance can be a reminder of your own power to create your reality and a call to pay attention to the connections and synchronicities in your life. How to interpret and respond to these signs. Pay attention to the context. When the sign appears, what were you just thinking or worrying about? The context provides a crucial clue to the message's meaning. If you were worrying about finances and you see 444, it's a message of reassurance and protection in that area. Check your intuition first. Before you rush to a search engine to look up the meaning of a number or symbol, pause and ask yourself, what does this mean to me? Your own intuition is your most reliable interpreter. The symbol is chosen because it has a personal resonance for you. Keep a synchronicity journal. Logging these occurrences can help you see the larger patterns and the unfolding narrative of the guidance you are receiving. Express gratitude. When you notice a sign, take a moment to say thank you to your spiritual support system. Gratitude opens the channels of communication even wider. Take aligned action. These signs are not just for passive observation, they are often prompts for action. If you keep seeing 555 change, it might be the push you need to finally apply for that new job or end that stagnant relationship. If you keep seeing owls, wisdom, it might be a sign to meditate on a big decision before acting. Repeating numbers and symbols are a beautiful and often playful way that the universe reminds us we are not alone. They are winks from the divine, loving nudges designed to guide, reassure, and, when necessary, warn us that we are veering off our highest path. Learning to read these signs is like learning a new language, the language of spirit itself. Sign 3. Unexplained fatigue or physical sensations. One of the most embodied and often confusing spiritual warning signs is the experience of sudden, unexplained physical symptoms. This can manifest as a profound fatigue that sleep doesn't seem to touch, a feeling of heaviness or pressure in certain parts of your body, or other strange physical sensations like tingling, chills, or a sudden ringing in your ears that have no apparent medical cause. While it is absolutely essential to first consult a healthcare professional to rule out any underlying medical conditions, when all tests come back clear and the symptoms persist, it is wise to consider the possibility that your body is communicating a spiritual message. Our bodies are not just physical machines. They are intricate biofeedback systems that are deeply connected to our emotional, mental, and spiritual states. Your body is the physical vessel for your spirit, and it often acts as a barometer for the subtle energies you are encountering. It can be the first line of defense, registering a spiritual or energetic imbalance long before your conscious mind is aware of it. This phenomenon, often called somatic intelligence, is your body's way of telling you that something in your environment or your inner world is draining your life force energy. Let's explore some of the common manifestations and their potential spiritual meanings. 1. Profound unexplained fatigue. This is not the normal tiredness you feel after a long day. This is a soul-deep exhaustion, a feeling of being completely drained of your vital energy, even after a full night's rest. Energetic vampirism. This fatigue often arises after you have spent time with a particular person or in a specific environment. Some people, often unconsciously, have a way of feeding on the energy of others. They may be excessively negative, constantly complaining, or intensely needy. After interacting with them, you feel depleted, as if they have siphoned off your life force. Your fatigue is a warning sign from your body that this relationship is energetically unsustainable and that you need to establish stronger boundaries. Spiritual warfare or attack. In some spiritual traditions, profound fatigue is seen as a sign that you are under spiritual attack. This means that a negative energy or entity is actively working to drain your resources and keep you in a low vibrational state of powerlessness. This is not meant to be a fearful concept, but a call to strengthen your spiritual practices, prayer, shielding, cleansing your energy to reclaim your sovereignty. Resisting your soul's path. A deep-seated fatigue can also be a sign that you are expending an immense amount of energy resisting your own soul's calling. If you are in a job, relationship, or lifestyle that is fundamentally out of alignment with your true self, your body will reflect this internal conflict. The constant effort of pretending to be someone you're not, or of forcing yourself to do something your soul is rejecting, is utterly exhausting. The fatigue is a plea from your spirit to stop fighting yourself and to start moving in the direction of your authentic purpose. 2. Localized physical sensations. Sometimes the message is more specific, manifesting as a sensation in a particular part of the body. In many holistic and spiritual traditions, different parts of the body, often corresponding to the chakras or energy centers, hold different types of emotional and spiritual energy. Heaviness in the chest, heart chakra. A sudden feeling of pressure or heaviness in your chest can be related to emotional issues like grief, betrayal, or a lack of forgiveness. It can be a warning that you are in a situation that is heartbreaking, or that you are closing your heart off as a protective measure. A knot in the stomach. Solar plexus chakra. The solar plexus is the center of your personal power, identity, and gut feelings. A knot in your stomach, nausea, or other digestive issues can be a powerful warning that you are giving away your power, violating your own boundaries, or are in a situation that compromises your integrity. It's a classic sign that something doesn't feel right. Tension in the neck and shoulders, throat chakra. This area is associated with communication and self-expression. Chronic tension here can be a sign that you are not speaking your truth. You may be shouldering burdens that are not yours to carry, or swallowing your words for fear of conflict. The physical tension is a manifestation of the spiritual and emotional tension of being unexpressed. What to do with these physical signs? Rule out the medical. Again, this cannot be stressed enough. Always consult a doctor first. Track the symptoms. Notice when the fatigue or sensation is most intense. Is it after you talk to a certain person? When you are at work? When you think about a specific decision you have to make? This will help you pinpoint the source. Practice energetic cleansing. If you feel heavy and drained, practice ways to cleanse your energy field. Taking a salt bath, smudging with sage, or simply visualizing a waterfall of light washing over you can be very effective. Listen to your body's no. If you feel sick to your stomach every time you are about to go to a certain event, your body is giving you a clear no. Learn to trust these somatic signals as a valid form of guidance. Engage in body-based practices. Practices like yoga, tai chi, or dancing can help you release stored energetic blockages and get back in tune with your body's wisdom. Your body is a sacred and intelligent vessel. When it speaks through unexplained fatigue or physical sensations, it is offering you profound wisdom about your spiritual and energetic well-being. Learning to listen to and honor these messages is a powerful step in living a more aligned and vibrant life. Sign 4. Disruptive or vivid dreams. The dream world is one of the most direct and powerful channels through which our spirit, our subconscious, and the spiritual realm can communicate with us. When we are asleep, the logical, analytical ego mind is at rest, and our deeper consciousness is free to process information, solve problems, and receive guidance without interference. While all dreams can contain messages, a spiritual warning sign often comes in the form of dreams that are unusually vivid, emotionally intense, recurring, or disruptive to our sleep. These are not your average, jumbled dreams about the day's events. These dreams have a different quality. They feel significant. They linger with you long after you wake up, leaving a strong emotional residue, be it fear, anxiety, or a deep sense of unease. Such dreams are a clear signal that your spirit is urgently trying to process something or warn you about an issue that your waking mind has been ignoring or repressing. Let's look at some common types of warning dreams and their potential interpretations. 1. Recurring nightmares or anxiety dreams. If you find yourself having the same nightmare or the same type of anxiety-provoking dream over and over again, this is a major red flag. Common themes include being chased. This often symbolizes that you are running away from an issue, a feeling, or a part of yourself in your waking life. The thing that is chasing you represents the very thing you need to turn around and face. It could be an unresolved conflict, a suppressed emotion like anger or grief, or a necessary life change you are avoiding. The dream is a warning that this avoidance is unsustainable. Teeth falling out. A classic anxiety dream. This can symbolize a fear of losing control, a feeling of powerlessness, or anxiety about your appearance and how others perceive you. It can also point to issues with communication, a feeling that you are not being heard, or a fear of speaking your truth. Being unprepared for a test. This dream is common even for those long out of school. It usually represents a feeling of being tested in your waking life and a fear that you will not measure up. It is a warning sign of imposter syndrome or a deep-seated fear of failure and judgment. The recurring nature of these dreams is your spirit's way of saying, "You didn't get the message the first time, so I'm sending it again, louder." The warning is to stop running and address the underlying fear. 2. Vivid dreams of warning. Sometimes a dream is not symbolic, but is a more direct, literal, or precognitive warning. Dreams of a car crash or malfunction. This can sometimes be a literal warning to get your car checked or to be extra careful while driving. More often, it is a symbolic warning that the vehicle of your life is heading for a crash. It can mean your career path, a relationship, or your current lifestyle is on a destructive trajectory and you need to change course immediately. Dreams. Featuring a wolf in sheep's clothing. You might dream of a person you know and trust, but in the dream, they have a sinister feeling, or they do something deceptive or harmful. This is often a powerful warning from your intuition about that person's true character. Your subconscious has picked up on subtle red flags about their integrity that your conscious mind has dismissed, and the dream is bringing this information to the surface. Dreams of your house being damaged. In dreams, your house often represents yourself or your inner life. A dream of a fire, a flood, or a crumbling foundation can be a warning about an impending health crisis, a spiritual attack, or a situation that is threatening the very core of your being and your sense of security. 3. Visitation. Dreams that feel ominous. Sometimes we have dreams where we are visited by a presence. This can be a deceased loved one, an angelic figure, or a darker entity. A warning dream is often characterized by the feeling of the dream. Even if a deceased loved one appears, if the dream leaves you feeling scared, drained, or confused, it may be a warning. The spirit appearing may be a lower-level entity masquerading as a loved one to deliver a message of fear or misinformation. A true, loving visitation from a higher source will almost always leave you with a feeling of peace, love, and comfort, even if the message itself is a serious one. How to work with your warning dreams. Keep a dream journal. The moment you wake up, write down everything you can remember about the dream, the symbols, the people, the colors, and most importantly, how you felt. The details fade quickly, so capturing them immediately is key. Identify the central emotion. What was the primary feeling of the dream? Fear, helplessness, anger. The emotion is the key to understanding the dream's core message. Don't be overly literal, usually. Most dreams speak in the language of symbols and metaphors. Ask yourself, what does this symbol mean to me? A snake could be a warning of a treacherous person to one dreamer, and a symbol of healing and transformation to another. Practice dream incubation. Before you go to sleep, you can ask your spirit for clarity on a specific issue. Write down a question on a piece of paper and place it by your bed. For example, show me the truth about this job offer. This sets an intention for your dream self to seek guidance. Share your dream with a trusted advisor. Sometimes talking about a dream with a wise friend, a therapist, or a spiritual mentor can help you see insights that you couldn't see on your own. Disruptive and vivid dreams are a sacred and powerful form of spiritual communication. When we learn to honor them as valuable intelligence from our inner world, they can become one of our most trusted sources of guidance, protecting us from harm and steering us toward our highest path. Sign 5. Sudden resistance to people or places. This warning sign is a visceral, body-based form of intuition. It manifests as a sudden and often inexplicable feeling of resistance, repulsion, or a strong desire to avoid a particular person, place, or opportunity, even if it seems perfectly logical or appealing on the surface. It's that feeling of your whole being putting on the brakes, an internal no that seems to come out of nowhere. Your mind might be saying, yes, this is a great opportunity, but your body and spirit are screaming, danger, stay away. This is different from social anxiety or the normal apprehension that comes with trying something new. This is a powerful, gut-level aversion. It can feel like an invisible wall has gone up between you and the person or situation. You might find yourself physically unable to hit send on an email accepting a job offer, or you might feel an overwhelming urge to turn around and walk out of a party you were looking forward to. This is your spiritual guidance system, working in its most direct and uncompromising form. This sign is a warning that there is a fundamental misalignment or a hidden danger that your logical mind cannot perceive. Your spirit is detecting a dissonance, a lie, or a threat, and it is using your body's aversion response to protect you. Let's explore the common contexts taught for this sign. 1. Resistance to a person. You might meet someone who is, by all accounts, wonderful. They are charming, successful, and everyone else seems to love them. But for some reason, you feel a strong sense of repulsion. You feel drained after talking to them, and the thought of spending more time with them fills you with a sense of dread. Detecting inauthenticity. Your spirit is likely picking up on a major incongruence between their outward persona and their inner reality. You may be sensing a hidden agenda, narcissism, or deep-seated dishonesty that they are skilled at masking from others. Your spirit is not fooled by the charming facade. Energetic mismatch. Even if the person is not malicious, they may operate at a spiritual or energetic frequency that is profoundly incompatible with yours. Spending time with them might be draining or detrimental to your own spiritual balance, and your resistance is a form of self-preservation. This is a warning that, while they may be a good person, they are not a good person for you to be in close relationship with. 2. Resistance to an opportunity. A job offer comes along that looks perfect on paper. It has a great salary, a prestigious title, and seems like the next logical step in your career. Your family and friends are all telling you to take it, but every time you think about accepting, you feel a pit in your stomach, and a wave of resistance washes over you. A warning about the environment. Your spirit may be foreseeing a toxic work culture, a manipulative boss, or unethical practices that you will be asked to participate in. The opportunity looks shiny on the outside, but your spirit knows that the inner reality of the situation will be soul-crushing and out of integrity with your values. A sign that it's a detour. This opportunity, while good, may not be your highest path. Your spirit knows that there is something even more aligned with your soul's purpose on the horizon, and accepting this offer would be a detour that would take you off course. The resistance is your spirit's way of asking you to hold out for the path that is truly meant for you. 3. Resistance to a place or group. You may be invited to join a new church, a spiritual group, or a social club. It seems positive and welcoming, but you feel a strong aversion to going. Discerning a counterfeit spirit. In the context of a spiritual group, your resistance can be a powerful act of discernment. You may be sensing a spirit of legalism, control, or cult-like manipulation, operating beneath the surface of the welcoming songs and friendly faces. Your spirit is warning you to protect your spiritual sovereignty. A not your tribe. Signal. The group may be filled with wonderful people, but your spirit may simply be telling you that this is not your tribe. The energy, the focus, or the mission of the group is not in alignment with your personal journey, and joining would be a distraction or a poor fit. What to do with this feeling of resistance? Trust it unconditionally. This is one of the clearest signs you can receive. Do not try to talk yourself out of it. Honor the feeling, even if you can't explain it. The why may become clear later, but the immediate message is to stop, pause, and not move forward. Don't feel guilty. You do not have to justify your feeling to anyone else. It is okay to turn down a great opportunity or to decline an invitation without having a long, logical reason. It just doesn't feel right for me at this time, is a complete and valid answer. Create space. If you are feeling pressured to make a decision, give yourself space. Tell the person or organization that you need a few days to think about it. The resistance is a call to slow down, not to be pushed into something by external pressure. Ask for confirmation. You can ask for a confirming sign. For example, if this is not the right job for me, please give me a clear sign within the next 24 hours. Then, pay attention to what happens. This sudden, strong resistance is a gift. It is the loving, protective hand of your spirit physically restraining you from walking into a situation that is not for your highest good. Learning to heed this internal stop sign without question is a hallmark of a person who is deeply connected to their own spiritual wisdom. Sign 6. Changes in gut feeling spiritually isolated. This warning sign is subtle but incredibly profound. It involves a noticeable shift or disruption in your primary tool of intuition, your gut feeling or inner knowing. For many spiritually sensitive people, their intuition is a reliable and familiar compass. It's that clear, quiet voice or feeling in their solar plexus that tells them when something is right and when it's wrong. A spiritual warning can manifest as a change in the quality or clarity of this internal guidance system. This is not about losing your intuition, but rather about how it operates to get your attention. It can show up in two primary ways. Either your usually clear intuition goes completely silent, or it becomes hyperactive and constantly on alert. Both are signs that your spirit is trying to warn you about a larger state of misalignment or spiritual danger. 1. When your intuition goes silent, you are facing a big decision and you turn inward to consult your gut feeling, but you get nothing. There's only silence, confusion, or a feeling of being completely disconnected from your inner compass. The familiar sense of yes or no is absent. Warning to pause. This intuitive silence is often a warning sign that it is not the right time to make a decision. You may not have all the information you need, or circumstances may be about to change. Your spirit is essentially saying, do nothing. Wait, be still. The silence is a protective measure to prevent you from moving forward prematurely into a situation that is not yet right. Pushing for an answer when your gut is silent can lead to a decision made from a place of ego or fear rather than true guidance. A sign of spiritual burnout or disconnection. If this silence persists across all areas of your life, it can be a warning that you have become disconnected from your spiritual source. This can happen when you are overly stressed, have neglected your spiritual practices, or have been in a toxic, energetic environment for too long. Your receiver has become clouded with static. The silence is a warning that you need to prioritize spiritual self-care, meditation, time in nature, solitude, to clear the channel and reconnect with your inner voice. It's a sign that you are spiritually isolated and need to come back home to yourself. 2. When your intuition is hyperactive and anxious. The opposite can also be a warning sign. Instead of silence, your gut feeling is constantly agitated. You feel a low-grade anxiety or a sense of wrongness about everything. No choice feels right, and you are plagued by a feeling of impending doom that you can't pin down to any specific cause. A warning about your overall environment. This hypervigilant intuition is often a sign that your entire life environment, your job, your primary relationship, or the city you live in, is fundamentally out of alignment with your soul. Your spirit is in a constant state of fight or flight because it is in a situation that is spiritually or emotionally unsafe. The constant anxiety is a symptom of a deeper problem. It's not about one specific choice being wrong. It's a warning that your whole context needs to be reevaluated. A sign of an impending tower moment. In tarot, the tower card represents a sudden, disruptive, and often chaotic upheaval that destroys a false structure in your life to make way for something more authentic. A period of hyperactive, anxious intuition can be a spiritual warning that you are heading for one of these moments. Your spirit can sense the foundational cracks in a major area of your life and is on high alert because it knows that a collapse is necessary and imminent. The anxiety is your system bracing for a necessary but difficult transformation. What to do with these changes in your gut feelings? Respect the silence. If your intuition is silent, do not force a decision. Embrace the pause. Trust that clarity will come at the right time. Use this waiting period to gather more information and to rest. Address the static. If you feel disconnected, make a conscious effort to reconnect. Turn off the external noise. Spend time alone. Meditate. Walk in nature. Do whatever helps you to hear your own inner voice again. Investigate the general anxiety. If your gut is constantly anxious, zoom out. Instead of focusing on the small, daily decisions, ask bigger questions. What is the primary source of stress or misalignment in my life right now? Is it my job, my relationship, my home? The anxiety is a compass needle spinning wildly because it's near a large disruptive magnetic field. Your job is to identify that field. Seek support. When your own internal compass feels unreliable, it's a good time to seek external counsel from a trusted, wise source. A mentor, a therapist, or a spiritual advisor. They can act as a temporary guide while you work on recalibrating your own system. Your intuition is a sacred gift. When it changes its voice, whether by falling silent or by shouting with anxiety, it is always a sign to pay close attention. It is a warning to check your spiritual connection, to assess the overall health of your life situation, and to be prepared for the changes that are needed to bring you back into alignment. Sign 7. Persistent thoughts about past mistakes. The final warning sign we will explore is one that operates in the realm of the mind. It is the experience of having persistent, intrusive, and emotionally charged thoughts about a specific past mistake, failure, or wound. This is not the gentle, reflective process of learning from the past. This is a thought loop. The same memory, the same feeling of regret or shame plays over and over in your mind, often with a fresh intensity, even if the event happened months or years ago. While this can sometimes be a symptom of a psychological issue, like anxiety or depression, and seeking professional help is always wise, it can also be a profound spiritual warning sign. Your spirit is intentionally bringing this memory to the surface of your consciousness for a specific reason. It is not trying to torment you. It is trying to alert you to an unresolved issue from the past that is actively and negatively impacting your present and future. The warning is that an old pattern, a karmic lesson, or an unhealed wound is about to repeat itself in your current life. Your spirit is replaying the old movie of your past mistake to help you recognize the same characters and the same plot line that are showing up in your life right now. Here's how this spiritual warning system works. 1. Highlighting a repeating pattern. Let's say you're starting to date a new person. They seem wonderful, but you find yourself suddenly and obsessively thinking about a toxic ex-partner from years ago. You keep replaying the red flags you ignored, the ways you compromised your boundaries, and the pain that resulted. This is a powerful spiritual warning. Your spirit is showing you the old pattern so that you can recognize the subtle similarities in the new person. The persistent thoughts are an alarm bell saying, "Warning!" The same energetic pattern you encountered before is present here. Do not make the same mistake again. Pay attention to the red flags you are currently ignoring. 2. a call for deeper healing and forgiveness. Perhaps you are offered a new opportunity, but you are flooded with memories of a past business failure. The shame and fear of that past event feel as raw as if it happened yesterday. This is a sign that you have not fully healed or integrated the lessons from that experience. The warning is that if you do not consciously address this old wound, your unhealed fear will sabotage your new opportunity. Your spirit is bringing it up not to shame you, but to invite you into a deeper level of healing and self-forgiveness. It's a call to finally release the old story so that you can step into your future with confidence. 3. An alert to an unpaid karmic or emotional debt. You might find yourself persistently thinking about a time you wronged someone. The guilt feels fresh and heavy. This can be a spiritual sign that there is an emotional or energetic debt that needs to be addressed. Perhaps you need to offer a sincere apology to that person, even if a long time has passed. The warning is that this unresolved energy is creating a blockage in your own life, preventing you from moving forward with a clear conscience. Your spirit is prompting you to make amends in order to balance the scales and free yourself from this energetic burden. How to respond to this sign? Don't suppress the thoughts. Your first instinct might be to push the uncomfortable thoughts away. Instead, get curious. Ask, why is this memory coming up for me right now? What is happening in my current life that mirrors this past situation? Journal about the connections. Write down the details of the past mistake. Then, write down the details of your current situation. Look for the parallels. What are the similar emotions, character dynamics, or choices you are facing? The connections will often become crystal clear when you see them on paper. Identify the unlearned lesson. Every mistake holds a lesson. What was the lesson of that past event? Was it about setting boundaries, trusting your intuition, valuing your self-worth? The persistent thoughts are a sign that this is the very lesson you are being asked to finally master in your present life. Take a different action. This time, the warning is a call to break the cycle. If the old pattern was to ignore red flags, your job now is to address them head on. If the old pattern was to play small out of fear, your job now is to take a courageous leap. Consciously choosing a different response is how you heal the past and liberate your future. Practice rituals of release. If the thoughts are about a wound that needs healing, engage in a ritual of release. Write a letter to your past self, offering forgiveness and compassion. Safely burn the letter as a symbol of letting go. These persistent thoughts about the past are not a sign that you are broken or stuck. They are a sign of your spirit's profound love for you. It is a form of spiritual course correction, using the wisdom of your own life experience to guide you away from repeating painful cycles and toward a future of greater wisdom, freedom, and wholeness. Conclusion. The spiritual journey is a continuous dialogue between our human self and our divine essence. The 7 signs we have explored: anxiety in familiar places, repeating numbers and symbols, unexplained physical sensations, vivid dreams, sudden resistance, changes in our gut feelings, and persistent thoughts about past mistakes, are all part of the rich and varied vocabulary of this sacred conversation. They are not random, meaningless occurrences to be dismissed or feared. They are purposeful, intelligent, and loving communications from a source of profound wisdom that resides both within and beyond us. To learn this language is to reclaim a part of our innate human inheritance. It is to move through the world with a second set of eyes, capable of perceiving the subtle energies, the hidden patterns, and the deeper truths that lie just beneath the surface of everyday reality. It requires courage to trust a feeling over a fact, to honor a dream over a deadline, and to heed an inner no when the world is screaming yes. Yet, this is the path of the soul. Let this exploration be an affirmation of your own experiences. If you have felt these things, you are not alone, and you are not imagining it. You are spiritually sensitive, and that sensitivity is a gift, not a curse. It is your built-in guidance system, designed to protect you, to guide you, and to constantly call you back to the path of your most authentic self. The ultimate purpose of these warning signs is not to make us timid or fearful, but to make us more conscious and empowered creators of our lives. They are invitations to pause, to check in, and to make choices that are in true alignment with our spirit. By heeding these whispers, we can avoid the larger and more painful wake-up calls down the road. We learn to navigate our lives with more grace, to build relationships on a foundation of truth, and to walk a path that is not just successful in the eyes of the world, but is deeply and truly fulfilling to our soul. The Spirit is always speaking. Our task is simply to learn how to listen.